Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Nation's Leaders from Coast to Coast podcast, where we spotlight political figures shaping America's narrative coast to coast. I'm Stephen.
And I'm Leah. Today, we're in Southern California to profile Representative Darrell Issa, a figure who has been a major force in Republican politics for 2 decades, known both for his business success and his role as a congressional investigator.
His background is fascinating because he was a household name in the tech world before he was a politician. He's the man behind the Viper car alarm, right?
That's exactly right. If you were around in the 90s, you definitely remember the car alarm that shouted, "Protected by Viper! Stand back!" That was Darrell Issa's company, Directed Electronics. He founded it and built it into a massive consumer electronics empire. That success made him one of the wealthiest members of Congress. But before his business career, he had a significant military career. He enlisted in the Army during the Vietnam era and became an explosive ordnance disposal, or EOD, technician, basically a bomb squad expert. He later went to college on an ROTC scholarship and served as a commissioned officer, so he combines the discipline of a military officer with the drive of a self-made CEO.
He was first elected in 2000. But he really became a national household name about 10 years later when he took over a very powerful committee. Tell us about his time as Mr. Oversight.
That was the peak of his national influence. From 2011 to 2015, he served as the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. This is the main investigative body of the House. Issa used that gavel to aggressively investigate the Obama administration. He led the high-profile probes into the Benghazi attacks, the IRS targeting of conservative groups, and the Fast and Furious gunwalking operation. He was on cable news constantly, known for his combative style and his relentless subpoenas. He framed his work as necessary to root out corruption and waste, though his critics viewed it as highly partisan. Regardless of how you view it, he defined what it meant to be an opposition watchdog.
He actually retired from Congress in 2018, but then made a comeback just 2 years later. What is his role now in his second stint in the House?
He returned in 2020 to represent California's 48th District, which covers inland San Diego and Riverside counties. In this chapter of his career, he has really leaned into his business roots. He is a senior member of the Judiciary Committee and serves as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Courts, Intellectual Property, and the Internet. This is a perfect fit for him. As a patent holder himself, he is passionate about patent reform and protecting American innovation from intellectual property theft, especially from China. He is also a senior voice on the Foreign Affairs Committee, where he advocates for a strong national defense and robust support for Israel.
So he's transitioned from being the chief investigator to being a policy expert on innovation and foreign affairs.
To a large extent, yes. He is still a fierce conservative partisan and a strong defender of Donald Trump, but his day-to-day legislative work is heavily focused on the mechanics of the innovation economy. He argues that strong patent rights are the engine of American prosperity. He brings the perspective of someone who has actually built a manufacturing company from scratch to debates about trade and regulation. He remains a powerful figure in the GOP, combining the wealth and independence of a tycoon with the tactical experience of a veteran political operator.
That's our profile for today. Thank you for listening to the Nation's Leaders from Coast to Coast podcast. You can find show notes for this episode and links to our sources on our website, pointedwords.com. Please note AI assists in the creation of this podcast from pointedwords.com, and remember, better pointed words than pointed swords.